Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Right. Okay. Actually, last class, even though I have started the next chapter, diversity in living organisms, I'm very sorry that the chapter was actually removed from the syllabus, right, for this academic year. And for term one, only two chapters are there: fundamental unit of life and tissues. So we have already completed those chapters. So let us revise the fundamental unit of life. What is fundamental unit of life? It is cell, right?
Cell, sir.
Okay. So
Cell, sir.
Robert Hooke discovered it. Robert Hooke discovered the dead cell. Discovered the cell for the first time from cork tissue, right? Okay, from cork tissue. Whereas Anton von Leeuwenhoek, Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he discovered the living cell from pond water. From pond water, he has discovered the living cell, right? And who has given the cell theory? Cell theory was given by Schleiden and Schwann. And what did they tell in the cell theory? Cell is the basic unit of life, and all plants and animals are made up of cells. And Virchow has added
Pre-existing cells.
Virchow has added another point. Cells arise from pre-existing cells. Cells arise from pre-existing cells. This was the point that was given by Rudolf Virchow, right? Next, Robert Brown. He discovered nucleus as well as he coined the term nucleus. Discovered nucleus and coined the term nucleus, right? And who discovered Golgi apparatus? Camillo Golgi. Camillo Golgi has discovered.
Camillo Golgi, sir.
Has discovered Golgi apparatus, right? And invention of which particular thing has made the microscopic world to be explored? Invention of which?
Sir, electron microscope.
Electron microscope, sir. It was
Yes, sir.
invented by
Electron
Conrad
microscope.
in 1940.
Listen the question carefully first before answering anything. Okay? What did I ask? Invention of which particular thing has made the microscopic world to be explored? The answer is not electron microscope.
Protoplasms.
Huh?
Protoplasm.
Listen the question
Primitive
once.
microscope, sir.
Listen the
Primitive
question
microscope.
once again. Listen the question once again. Invention of what or which particular thing has made to look into the microscopic world?
Magnifying lens.
Good. That is the answer.
Good.
Very so hasty to give the answers. Try to listen the question or try to read the question carefully. Then only give the answer. Invention of magnifying lenses. These magnifying lenses are utilized in different ways. and simple microscope, compound microscope, electron microscope, all those other things they were invented later on. And in 1940, electron microscope invention has made to look into the ultra structures like structure of plasma membrane, structure of nucleus, all those things, right? If invention of which particular thing has made to look into the ultra structure of plasma membrane means, for that answer should be electron microscope, right? Okay, to look into the microscopic world, which particular thing invention has made actually possible means, that is only magnifying lenses, right? Okay, next. Okay, right. See, the invention of magnifying lenses led to the discovery of the microscopic world, right? And organisms are divided into two types of organisms based on the number of cells present in them: unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Can you give one example for unicellular organism?
The humans. Amoeba, sir.
Amoeba, sir.
Amoeba, sir.
Bacteria.
Amoeba.
Just now I
Paramecium.
told, just now only I told to listen the question carefully. I think who is that person that has answered human being?
Sir Piyush.
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 So Piyush is the unicellular organism.
Multicellular
Multicellular organism.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Animals.
humans, plants,
Animals.
Animals
Okay.
and humans, plants,
Animals.
plants.
right, etc. Okay. What is a cell made up of? Right? Each cell is made up of what? A cell is made up of plasma membrane. Next, cytoplasm and
Nucleus.
nucleus. Right.
Organelles.
Within the cytoplasm, we will discuss about organelles. Okay. Coming to plasma membrane. It is also called cell membrane. It is also called cell membrane. It covers the cell and separates the inner contents of the cell from the external environment, and it protects the cell. It gives the shape to the cell. It allows certain molecules to pass through it, and certain molecules are prevented from just pass through the plasma membrane. This property is known as what? Semi-permeability. Semi-permeability means allowing only some molecules to pass through it, and it allows only some molecules to pass through it in a selective manner. That is called selective permeability. Selective permeability. And generally molecules, many of the molecules, they move from their higher concentration to their lower concentration across this plasma membrane. This property is known as diffusion, right? And by means of diffusion, if water is moving, diffusion of water is known as osmosis, right? And osmosis is nothing but diffusion of water, or movement of water from its higher concentration to its lower concentration.
Lower concentration.
Right. And based on the concentration of water, okay, based on the concentration of water present in a given environment with respect to the cellular environment, the solutions are of three types: hypotonic, isotonic, and hypertonic, right?
Sir, what is diffusion of air or oxygen?
Air means it is a mixture of gases. Oxygen is one particular gas. There is no specific term that is given for the diffusion of specific gas or specific another solid components. Okay, for only diffusion of
Okay,
water
sir.
they give the term osmosis. I already told this thing, right? Hypotonic solution. What is hypotonic solution? What is hypotonic solution? The solution which contains more concentration of water than compared to the inner cellular environment. Okay, right? Solution that has higher concentration of water than compared to its separated solution. Here that one is inner cellular environment. This is hypotonic solution. What is isotonic solution?
Sir, movement.
The solution
Sir,
that
movement of
contains
particles, sir.
the solution
Sir,
that
isotonic means
let us first understand the definitions of these things. Hypotonic solution has higher concentration of water than compared to its separated solution, that is than compared to the inner cellular environment. Isotonic solution has same concentration of water than compared to the inner cellular environment. Has same concentration of water, right? And hypertonic solution, it has lower concentration of water.
Sir, particles.
Wait ma, what particles, right? And the concentration of water, it depends on the dissolved substance present in the water. If dissolved substance is increased without increasing the water quantity, then what it will happen? The concentration of water decreases. If dissolved substance is decreased, means without increasing or decreasing the concentration of water, then water concentration, free water concentration will be increasing. So if a cell is placed in hypotonic solution, hypotonic means you have taken a cell, you have put in a hypotonic solution. What are you implying by telling that you have placed the cell in hypotonic solution? That means inside the cell there is hypertonic condition. Outside the cell there is hypotonic condition. Means higher water concentration is there outside the cell. So water moves from where to where? From higher concentration to lower concentration. So when a cell is placed in hypotonic solution, what will happen? The cell will swell. If a cell is placed in isotonic solution, what will happen to cell? The cell will remain same in size. If a cell is placed in hypertonic solution, what will happen to the cell? The cell will
Shrink.
Good. The cell will shrink. Right? This is what the fate of the cell in different concentration of solutions. Right? Okay. Now, what are various uses of the process of diffusion? Unicellular organisms, they carry out most of their life process by means of diffusion, and roots absorb water by means of diffusion, right? So the diffusion plays a crucial role for the absorption of water in plants, right? And for most of the activities in unicellular organisms. In multicellular organisms, by means of diffusion, the activities cannot be carried out, because in unicellular organism the entire surface of the organism is in direct contact with the environment, whereas in multicellular organism it is not like that. Next, cell wall. Okay, cell wall, it is not present in all organisms, it is present in few organisms. What are those organisms? In plants, in fungi, and in bacteria. In which organisms the cell wall is absent? In animals. Animals, cell wall is absent. In plants, fungi,
Sir,
bacteria.
plastids.
Huh? In animals and in
Plastids.
protists. Okay. Protists, cell wall is absent. We are talking about, we are discussing about cell wall. Don't bring plastid here. Okay. While discussing about cellular organelles, there I will discuss about plastid. Okay. Right. So, cell wall, it is the extra protective structure. If we carefully observe between these two types of organisms and these three types of organisms, these three types of organisms are more prone to be exposed to various types of pressures. Okay. Generally, plants and fungi, they do not move, so that they will have to face more pressures. Bacteria can move, but still they face more pressures. And what is the difference between bacteria and protists? Protist means unicellular eukaryotes. Bacteria means they are unicellular, but what they are? They are prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are small in size. They have very less efficiency of cellular activities. So they have less protective measures in them. So they are going to face more pressures. So finally, these three groups of organisms, they are going to face more pressures. So nature has provided them the extra protective structure in order to be, in order to safeguard the organisms from those extra pressures. Whereas animals are motile, means they are able to move. Okay. Protists are, even though they are unicellular, they are having a advanced structure than compared to bacteria. So they are also having extra protective measures. Are you getting it? So these two things, as they are already able to escape from the pressures, they need not require this cell wall. That's why cell wall is absent in them, right? And cell wall in plants, it is made up of cellulose. Cell wall in plants, it is made up of cellulose. In fungi, it is made up of chitin. In bacteria, it is made up of NAG and NAM, neuroaminoglycolic acid, neuroaminomuramic acid. And cell walls permit the cells of plants, fungi and bacteria to withstand with very dilute external media without bursting. If you place an animal cell in very hypotonic medium, animal cell is placed, assume that, what will it happen? Into the animal cell, water keeps entering. Since animal cell do not have any cell wall, the animal cell may burst due to excessive swelling. Whereas if you place a plant cell in very severe hypotonic medium, a plant cell do not burst. Or fungal cell do not burst. Or bacterial cell do not burst because of the presence of cell wall. So cell wall protects the cells of plants, fungi and bacteria from the very dilute external media, means not allowing them to get burst, right? So when a plant cell or a fungal cell or a bacterial cell is placed in hypotonic medium, what is going to happen? So assume that this is the cell and this is the cell wall, right? When it is placed in hypotonic medium, the cell will keep increasing in size due to swelling. So the cell will come almost near to the cell wall, and cell will first become fully swollen. A fully swollen cell is known as turgid cell. A fully swollen cell is known as turgid cell. This turgid cell, it exerts some amount of pressure on this cell wall. So this turgid cell, it exerts some amount of pressure on this cell wall, right? But it will not get burst. How? Why the turgid cell is not getting burst? Because the cell wall, it exerts an equivalent opposite pressure on a fully turgid cell. The cell wall exerts an equivalent opposite pressure on a fully turgid cell. This pressure is known as turgor pressure. What it is known as? Turgor pressure. Right? So what is turgor pressure? The equivalent opposite pressure that is exerted by the cell wall on a fully turgid cell. The equivalent opposite pressure that is exerted by the cell wall on a fully turgid cell. Okay. And there is one more thing. If a plant cell is placed in hypertonic medium, if a plant cell is placed in hypertonic medium, this is the plant cell, assume that. This is cell wall and this is the plant cell. So if plant cell is placed in hypertonic medium, what will happen? Can anyone tell? If a plant cell is placed,
Sir, it shrink.
it shrink.
Sir,
So
it will shrink, sir.
good.
Then it will start to shrink.
Right. So this is before placing the plant cell in hypertonic medium. This is after placing the plant cell in hypertonic medium, right? So cell wall, it remain in fixed shape. But what change that did you observe? The inner cellular contents, they moved away from the cell wall. Okay. The inner cellular contents, they moved away from the cell wall, right? The contraction of the cellular contents away from the cell wall. The contraction of the cellular contents away from the cell wall. The contraction of the cellular contents away from the cell wall when a plant cell is placed in hypertonic medium is known as plasmolysis. It is known as plasmolysis, right? The contraction of the inner cellular contents away from the cell wall when the plant cell is placed in hypertonic medium is known as what? Plasmolysis. Hope you have understood.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to nucleus, right? Nucleus is the central spherical structure in a cell. Central spherical structure. Right? It regulates the cellular metabolism and the cellular reproduction. Regulates the cellular metabolism and cellular reproduction. In nucleus contain genetic material. This genetic material is in two forms. One is chromatin form, another one is chromosome form. Okay. And what is chromatin form? thin thread-like form. Thin thread-like coiled form. And what is chromosome form? Thick condensed rod-shaped form. Rod-shaped form. And when this chromatin form is going to be present, when the cell is what? Not dividing. That time chromatin form is present. When the chromosome form is present, when the cell is dividing, during the time of cellular division, when the cell is dividing, okay, this chromosome form is present. Okay, and the genetic material, it contains DNA. What is DNA full form? Deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. So this contains the information for the features of the organism as well as for the cell. This provides the information for the features of the organism as well as the individual cell also, right? Okay, and DNA, it is associated with a special protein called histones, right? And coming to the covering area of the nucleus. Nucleus is surrounded by nuclear membrane. And this nuclear membrane has some pores in it, which are called nuclear pores. What is the use of this nuclear pores? What is the use of nuclear pores present in the nuclear membrane? Can anyone tell?
They help the substances to move in and out of that.
Means, see, inside the nucleus, some RNA-like materials are synthesized, and this RNA has to be utilized for the synthesis of proteins. Synthesis of proteins, it does not take place inside the nucleus. So RNA has to come out from the nucleus. So some materials have to come out from the nucleus and some materials have to move inside the nucleus. So nuclear membrane pores, that is nuclear pores, help in this particular transit of some materials in and out, right? Okay. And in the case of prokaryotes, this nucleus is absent. In the place of a nucleus, they have nucleoid. What is the difference between nucleus and nucleoid? Nucleus is the membrane bound genetic material containing region in the eukaryotic cells. Nucleus is the membrane bound genetic material containing region in the eukaryotic cells. And what is nucleoid in biology? I mean, in Greek language, oid means alike, means not same, but like. Not same, but resembling,
Sir, we can tell it is not well defined.
It is not well defined, but okay. But why the term nucleoid has come? Nucleoid.
Sir, resembles like nucleus.
Right? So,
Sir, it resembles like nucleus.
yes, in what way it resembles in the nucleus? Nucleoid is the region like nucleus. In what way it is like nucleus? It contains genetic material. So having genetic material or containing genetic material, it is like nucleus. In what way it is not nucleus? It doesn't contain what? Doesn't contain what? What is the difference between
Nuclear membrane.
Yes, it doesn't
Nuclear
contain
membrane.
nuclear membrane. So
Membrane.
What is well-defined nucleus then? What is well-defined nucleus?
Sir, it has its own boundaries. Nuclear membrane.
The genetic material containing region that has a clear covering membrane is known as well-defined nucleus. What is nucleoid? What is nucleoid? The genetic material containing region without what? A covering membrane. So the organisms that have well-defined nucleus are called eukaryotes. The organisms that have well-defined nucleus are called eukaryotes. The organisms that do not have well-defined nucleus, instead that have only nucleoid, are called prokaryotes. And prokaryotes could not evolve into multicellular forms, whereas eukaryotes could evolve into multicellular forms. That means among eukaryotes there are unicellular eukaryotes as well as multicellular eukaryotes. Okay, right? Remaining things we will discuss in the coming class. We need to attend a program now. Okay, thank you.
Sir, tomorrow holiday, sir.
Tomorrow is holiday, but if possible, I'll take class. If not possible, I'll not take class. I'll let you know, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Bye, sir.